Howdy folks, welcome to Katie Phillips Scrapbook Designs. I'm Katie and today we're going to work on the interior of the cover for the Welcome Sweet Boy mini album. For this album I'm using a digital collection which I will link to in the description box down below. That is a collection that I purchased off of Etsy. And the first thing that I'm going to do for the interior is I'm going to cover the spine here, and I've got a piece of paper 5.5 by 7 1/4, and we're going to add double-sided tape to all 4 sides of these 2 gaps. That way we should get really good adhesion right at the point where the album is going to be under the most stress, I think. And if you want a detailed video on how to design and construct a mini album cover, I will link to it over here. And I am just going to eyeball the center. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered here. The main thing is that we want this spine covered. And we don't want the paper to start buckling right in here or right in here. Which is why we added double-sided tape to both sides of the gap. And it's okay that there's some extra glue over there. That's not going to hurt anything. So on the left side, I want to be careful not to get anything in that glue over there. And I apologize for the lawnmower going outside. It's been one of the first weekends that my husband's been able to mow, so he's mowing. I'm not sure what changed in my print settings. However, the colors of the collection between when I printed the front and when I printed the interior changed, and I think it's because I changed from RGB to CMYK. I think that's what changed. But anyway, so these are slightly different, but I'm okay with it because this is the cover, and as long as the rest of the interior comes out with this color scheme as opposed to this cooler set of blues. This is a slightly warmer set of blues. So as long as the interior is still this warmer set of blues, I'm okay with that because this is the outside and it's just on the outside, and this will be on the inside. So there'll be some visual separation there. So we're going to start the interior with a set of 3 stacked pockets. And this is going to be the large mat. It's 7.5 inches squared, in case you can't tell. And I did not bother printing on the interior because I wanted to save ink and because this is all going to be covered up. So for the pockets, we have 2 that are 2.5 by 8 and 1 that is 3 by 8. The 3 by 8 is going to be the bottom pocket, and the 2.5 by 8s will be stacked up here. And the way it's going to work is we're not going to fold the bottom section of the 2.5 by 8 under, except on this piece. On the 8 by 3, we are going to fold that under and to form that into the bottom of the pocket. So I think the first thing is going to be to glue this piece down. Because the pockets aren't going to be wrapping around this mat. They're going to be wrapping around the mat that's going to go on top of it. So this is the mat that's going to go on top of it, and it is 6 7/8 by 7 inches. I'm trying to think of how I want to lay this out. I think I want to start with the top pocket, and if I've got the math right in my head, so I want to overlap these by about, I don't know, about 1/4 inch. I've got here for, okay, I'm going to overlap these by about 1/2 inch. And then, so this one is going to be 2.5 inches. So that's going to be at 2.5 inches, 4.5 inches, 6.5 inches. So what I'm going to do to figure out where these are going to lay out, since I want to actually start from the top, I'm going to make a mark at 1/2 inch from the top. 1/2 inch from the top. So I'm going to put it right about there. And again, 1/2 inch from the top, right about there. Now I'm going to grab my scoreboard before I go any further, because I do know I need to do that. And I'm going to score this at 1/2 inch, fold this under, and score it 7 inches. And repeat that with the other 2.5 by 8 inch piece. And then the 8 by 3, score 1/2 inch, fold under. Apparently this is 8.5 inches, so let me go trim this real quick. Score that at 7 inches, and now I'm going to score at 2.5 inches. double-sided tape to the back side of these two tabs. So on the lumpy side. And so I've got the side with all my pencil markings facing up, and my first pocket is flipped around on the back side here. I'm going to fold this around. I've got it lined up with my pencil marks on both sides. And I'm just going to fold over. And apparently I didn't give it enough space, so I'm going to pry that up on this side because it's wanting to bend. And it looks like I need to trim just a hair off here. So I'm going to do that. Be right back. Okay, I trimmed about 1/16 of an inch off, if that. And it was just because the paper was wanting to buckle up like that, and I want it to sit as flat as possible. And now I'm going to mark 1/2 inch from the bottom slide it over here. And now I am going to do a dry fit. Okay, that's going to work the way that I want it to. So before we add it to the base page, I am going to mat it. We've got 2 solid cardstock mats cut to 6 7/8 by 1 7/8, and 1 cut to, why didn't I write that down? 2 7/8. 2 7/8? No, sorry, 2 3/8 by 6 7/8. And we have 2 patterns cut to 6 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 1 pattern cut to 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to start by adding the pattern paper to the solid cardstock, and then matting the solid cardstock on top of the pockets. Now, while that dries, I'm going to work on the inserts. I've got a couple of covers, 3 of them. One little booklet for each trimester. So we've got pattern paper, 32-pound printer paper, and some colored cardstock. And these are 10 inches wide by 7 inches tall. We're going to score the 10-inch side at 5 inches on all 9 of these pieces of paper. And then we're going to staple the center using the swing arm stapler. So here's the first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester. Next moment of truth. Are these all going to fit? It's a little overstuffed. I'm concerned that if she tries to put any photographs in there, it's going to be a lot of strain on this page. So I think the next time I assemble this album, I'll try to put some gussets in these pockets somehow. So next up, we're going to work on the back page. And the back page is going to require some magnets. No, it's not going to require some magnets. I take that back. No, it's designed so that it doesn't need magnets. So we've got two pieces at 8 1/4 by 7 3/4, and we're going to score the 8 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch or 7 3/4 inches. So we got 2 of those. And we've got 2 pieces at 7 3/4 by 5 1/2, and we're going to score the 5 1/2 inch side at 5 inches. And then we're going to lay them out on top of the back. So let's go ahead and score and get everything glued down. The 2 shorter pieces are going to go on the top and bottom. The 2 longer pieces are going to go on the left and the right. So I've got the first 8 1/4 by 7 3/4 piece laid down about 1/8 of an inch from the crease between the spine and the back. And now I'm going to lay the other piece down about 1/8 of an inch from the free edge of the back. And I want to line it up top to bottom with this one here. I'm going to take the first of the smaller flaps and I'm going to line it up about 1/8 of an inch from the top. And the last of the flaps, I'm going to line it up. If you guessed 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, you're correct. And I do want to be aligned. Okay. That's perfect. And now I've got 2 mats. This one is 7 7/8 inch squared. It should fit. Well, looks like I'm going to have to adjust a little bit on the top and bottom. I should have double checked this. I should have double checked that this was going to fit before I glued everything down. So it looks like I need to shave about 1/16 of an inch off of one of the sides. Actually, I'm going to shave about 1/16 of an inch off of 2 sides. All right, so that fits. And this was 7 3/4 inches squared, but again, I shaved about 1/16 of an inch off 2 sides of this piece also. And I'm going to glue this mat down to the solid cardstock mat. I could have left it at its original dimensions, but then I would have only had a 32nd of an inch frame all the way around, and I'm doing good with if I can get 1/16 of an inch frames to work. I didn't want to challenge myself that much. Oops, did not mean to get glue on that. Meant to close like this, and I've got some more cardstock. Got 2 pieces at 7 1/2 by 4 3/4 and 2 pieces at 7 5/8 by 4 7/8. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to map these and then glue them down to these 2 smaller flaps. So the top part I'm going to be able to place just fine with my crocodile, but the bottom one is, I'm not going to be able to reach that far with the crocodile, so I'm going to have to, how am I going to do this? Wow, that is really off center. Okay. Come on, Brad, you can do it. There we go. And of course, if you want to, you can always mat the inside of these two flaps. Let me grab some baker's twine. How much do I want to grab? I guess about a foot ought to be plenty. I'm going to go underneath that heart there. Alright, that's going to do it for the interior of the cover. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more mini album related content, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I release new videos every Friday and Tuesday. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. I will be linking to all the materials that I can find online, including the digital files on Etsy for this pattern paper, in the description box down below. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.